Just wait for it to appear on our YouTube. Ah, it's coming over on the main channel, Rocco. I can see it. Almost. Yes, it's here. Are you live on your channel too? I can't hear you, Rocco. Oh, that's a shame.
How about that?
Yes. We're live, right?
Yep, we're good to go.
Awesome. Hello, good people of the internet. Hello, a Better Way community. Hello, millions and millions of people tuning in live from all over the globe.
All the doom scrollers.
The Droom Scholars. Yes. Uh, Welcome back to another live video on a Better Way platform. We know that we have been sort of MIA for the last 10 days or so, and it's by design. We wanted to make sure that we are ready and we are willing to actually go ahead and talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about. In all honesty, we still aren't, but we decided to show up today and talk about what is going on with a Better Way platform, where we are, the both of us, Rocco and I, and what we envision it going forward. And specifically, we wanted to talk about our moment in time right now. This is not going to be a very long live video. Rocco and I have talked about this previously also, that we do not want to be doing those hour long live videos unless we really need to. Today's live video will especially be a short one. We want to talk about our moment in time, what Rocco and I are going through personally and together, and where we see a Better Way platform helping out in moments, especially in moments such as this. So, with that intention set, over to you, Rocco. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Chetan. I'm better than I've been, but I wanted to
Yeah.
make a couple of points that we're
Hmm.
trying to play in the corporate space. We're trying to be a legitimate operation, but
Yeah.
we're also trying to do things differently to what is normalized. And what's normalized is people come to work and they show up and they pretend that what's happening in their personal lives is not what's happening in their personal lives. And we
Yeah.
don't normalize and discuss that. And how can we ever restore what business or professional projects could be if we can't also profess what's happening in a real sense for us? Because that's also not kind of leadership, because it means if anybody else is going through a difficult, challenging experience, then no one feels the permission to speak about such things.
Yeah.
So we'd rather just say, I think this is actually better. You don't just forge ahead with any project. You kind of have to honor where you're at, because if we want to carry such an important mission out through the project, we don't serve that mission by pretending that we're ready when we're not
Hmm.
ready. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so there's a process of being made ready that we're going through. And it sometimes feels like that. Like, I don't know if you're ready to share your news with the world, but we all sometimes get into phases of our life where we're just about to inherit a lot more responsibility, a lot deeper responsibility. And suddenly it confronts us that we're so far away from we now on the threshold of that accountability. We suddenly realize, oh shit, this is so much bigger than what I even imagined. And there becomes this necessary period of sacred doubt,
Yeah.
of internal reconstitution of your psyche and your values, and your commitments, what you're prepared to be, what you're prepared to give. But we don't normalize this.
Hmm.
And this
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
part of what we mean in the corporate book of the dead in a better way when we say ritualizing our disruptions. We're going
Hmm.
through a transition. It's completely disrupting our psychology, our way of being in the world, what we think we can deliver, but we're not treating it as sacred. We're just trying to rush to get it through. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
thought
Hmm.
I'd rather talk about that and
Yeah.
and show the leadership I wish I had been given,
Hmm.
or even what I wish I had known when this period of disruption really became intense, as it is for so
Hmm.
many people at the moment.
Yeah. And if I share something, Rocco, here publicly, ever since I completed the 20-day life challenge, I talked about it even in the middle of the 20-day life challenge, that I've been going through a lot of transformation myself. But it was such a busy time for me that I could not internalize and process that transformation that was happening. I still have been quite busy with my personal life ever since then. But something that I did realize was that what I'm going through is a transformation. It's almost like a birth. It's almost like the birth of a new Chetan right now. And I am actually visualizing it happening. I'm feeling as if I'm in the middle of a birth canal, and it's not a comfortable experience. I'm quite overwhelmed for a big part of my day. I feel even in my meditation sessions that I'm stuck. I just cannot seem to get anywhere. And one of the core experiences that I am having personally is that I lack the language to process all of this. And now that tells me myself that it's time to step up. It's time to level up, and I'm stepping into a game that I've not played so far. I realize that I'm going to be sharing so many big responsibilities. Like, just talk about a better way, Rocco. The entire project that we have picked up, the entire project that calls you out, that you have initiated me towards, where I'm feeling that my soul is on fire and I really want to contribute to this project in the most meaningful way possible for my soul, for my heart. I feel I'm not ready to actually do justice to the kind of project that we've picked up.
Yeah.
And it's such a tight line that I'm walking through right now, because I feel it's such an important project, and I will not do justice to it if I don't talk about it at all, if I don't play a part in it. And I also won't do justice to it if I'm not ready to play the part that I'm supposed to play here. I hope I'm able to make my point here.
Yeah.
It's a right.
Yeah, I know
It's
what you
almost like
mean.
walking a tightrope, right?
It's like
And
when you get married first, you suddenly realize, oh my gosh, the responsibility is so much larger and more important. I can affect the soul journey of another whole person by the quality
yeah,
of how I show up in the leadership that I
yeah,
show and the
yeah,
presence that I
yeah.
have and the work that I'm doing on myself.
Mm,
And yet the paradox or the dichotomy is it's so enormous. I at once both feel inadequate to that enormous responsibility, but I
mm,
also am not able to not step up to that responsibility. And so
yeah.
you can't do nothing, but you can't pretend you're ready.
Mm, mm.
And the moment is
Yes,
arriving
yes, yes,
presently at the same time, and
yes,
it's
yes,
creating a
yes.
new tension in you that you
Yeah,
actually don't even know how to hold.
yeah, yeah. Exactly,
And
exactly.
that tension, as I've just explained, is something that you can hold better if somebody describes the archetypal model that you're stepping into. I get it. I get it. But the thing is, when you said, I don't have the language, none of us have this right language. We often
Mm,
say that we're not initiated, and that's just a thing that people don't even know what I mean when I say we are not initiated. To be initiated means to have grown up in a cultural context and framework
mm,
where the idea of what's happening right now has been explained to you and normalized, and the stories have been told not as stories but as maps of meaning so that you can understand the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis to become a butterfly, but he has to first dissolve. The
mm,
child must
mm,
come from the womb into the world, but then even when they come into the world, the largest ordeal that they've ever faced is now finished. Even if everybody is helping them on the outside, there is a part of their journey that they are going through for the first time alone,
mm,
as a single alone self. There is a fight that they have to become a participant in to arrive in that vulnerable mess on the other side, completely unprepared for the journey that's about to begin.
mm, mm,
When
mm,
the
mm,
wheat
mm.
in a field has been sprouted up and grown through a long season, and it's ripened in the sun, and it's as tall as it's going to reach, suddenly there in the absolute height of its um, sense of confidence and knowing how to be in the world, its identity, right in that moment, it's cut down. And then, like, if that's been your whole project of becoming, we know that the wheat still has to be dried and then still has to be
Mm,
threshed, so that the husk can come loose and the kernel can be free. And even in that threshing, the wheat must think, oh my God, this is now the end. I thought the cutting
mm,
down was the end. This is now the end.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And then when it thinks, oh my God, finally that release is over. Now I'm the freest I've ever been. I'm just the kernel. The husk has been threshed off me. Yeah. We don't realize that the threshing was absolutely necessary.
mm,
The cutting
mm,
down was not a mistake or an accident. It was absolutely necessary.
mm, mm,
But it now introduces us into this possibility that we're part of an arc, that this
mm,
will then be ground into bread. And then as you ground the kernels into flour, the wheat will be thinking, oh my God, this is now the end. Now I'm being obliterated into nothing.
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
going to get baked into the oven in the hot fire. And it goes, oh my God, this is now the end. And then, but the whole point of that whole journey was the ultimate becoming, the telos, the fulfillment. And we're all on such journeys. We're just not on such journeys consciously. We're missing that framework and that guidance in the world,
Yeah.
which is what a better way wants to do. But right now, we're all just individually missing this context of how we could be seeing this moment that we're all experiencing in a shared way together. How sad is it that human beings have to face these moments, to be called to step up and change and shift, but to not know what's happening, not know if we've lost it somehow, because our cultural framing just talks about mental health, poor mental health. Oh, you're just depressed, you're just burnt out. You are those things. But if you just got told the framing in which you are a participant or what's happening or the context of what's happening to you, you can orient yourself to that. You can find a meaning making, a sense making in that. And in that, you can come on top of the drama and hold space for yourself in the drama and
Yeah.
start framing your choices and your actions as what would you do for a baby coming into this world? How can you explain to the caterpillar the necessity of dissolution so that the butterfly can emerge?
Yeah.
You must understand there's part of you that doesn't really get that process yet, and how gentle and tender and compassionate and generous and patient can you be with yourself. Whilst when the baby is being born, there's a time limit there. You can't and ah forever. And the fierceness and the size of your spirit and the the way that you are going to go after life is determined in some way by the struggle that you put up with in the middle there. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, they say. Like, how much do you want this? And so there has to be this combination of allowing your struggle, but also allowing your defiance and holding that. And that skill of holding that impossible tension is a parenting skill, it is a shepherding skill, it is a leadership skill.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think if I was on the receiving end of this and I didn't know what was happening, I would want to know that so that I could face this moment.
Yeah.
And to make it clear, and I'll shut up, is I think this moment is a harvest season. These moments come along for us in our life, and we kind of end up going through them together in different ways. But we don't know that because we're not connected and speaking about these things. We're brushing these things under the carpet. But we're all going through such things. Some of us a little bit sooner, some of us a bit later, some of us more troubled, some of us, we've got our processes and we've got our questions and confusions and cultural heritage. But this moment is happening for everyone. There's a mirror to this in astrology. We know we're facing new change in the world. There's changes in the seasons. There's changes with AI. There's changes in the news. There's changes. And we're actually all in a harvest season. And like in the world where we used to have farmers in the village that would be bringing the crops in, there is a limit to how much you can plant in the summer. There comes a point where you can't plant seeds anymore. It's too late now. It doesn't mean you can't plant a seed, but you're never going to get that boost that nature just gave you if you planted in spring and watered it in summer and then harvested in autumn. There's a window in which that harvest can happen. It doesn't mean you can't go through your personal change and initiation later. It means you're never going to have the energy and the wind in your sails and all the circumstances and conditions of nature moving in your favor as they are during such a time. And I call those times harvest seasons. And we are in such a one now, yeah? So even if you feel you missed it this time, know that another one will come, and next time you can face that one with more grace,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted to share today.
And that is so powerful, Rocco. And if I be talking to the community now, I'll safely say that this is exactly the kind of guidance and the teaching that Rocco is relaying to me right now. And I know at some level that this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I need to step through this moment. And by the way, talking about stepping through, there is this book that I will highly recommend everyone go through. I'm going to be on vacation for the next 10 days and I'm going to be taking this book with me. This is Stepping Through by the author who's sharing the screen with me right now, Rocco Jarman. These are this one. There is another one called The Hearth and the Will. I have talked about this as well on the channel, and this is another one, The Keeper and the Flame, The Keeper of the Flame. I haven't talked about this book specifically on my channel, but these are three books that I'm going to be taking with me on my vacation, because I know personally that these are the kinds of wisdom that you need in these times. And while there are many other books that I have already read that I've talked about on this channel, I feel that these books are the need of the hour for me right now. And this is how I'm making sense of my current moment in time. Uh,
I just want to
this,
help you have
hmm,
that conversation quickly.
yeah,
And I suppose the point that I want to help make is that you've read these all before
yes,
and you appreciated them and you thought they were great.
yeah,
And now, when the moment arrived, when this experience became raw and real, and
hmm,
then you read them again, and I pointed you back to them again, suddenly
yeah,
there was like, oh my God, how could I have missed
yeah,
this? It's actually a user manual for exactly this moment. It's
yeah,
not just arbitrary, cute words, it's a very precise
hmm,
psychological stepping through, a
yeah,
walkthrough of how to face exactly this moment and the things one needs to sit with, be present with, be reminded of how we
hmm,
lead
hmm,
ourselves. And
yeah,
I think that's the part that people don't understand, that you'd read this at a literal level and now
hmm,
suddenly it means something so much more,
yeah,
so
yeah.
much more as a useful user manual. Yeah,
And that leads me to one more realization, Rocco, that even now the understanding I have from these books is again going to be upgraded at some later point of time. These words might end up meaning a lot more than what they mean even now. Even if this current understanding is an upgrade to my previous understanding, I'm also making space for these words to mean somewhat more, like it's caves all the way up. It is a cycle of harvest seasons. Always we'll always step through another harvest season. This is not going to be the last one for sure,
that's right. That's right.
right? Mm.
And sometimes some lessons were more important than others. And then, so the funny thing
Yeah.
is, it's hard for people to understand that there are certain pieces in the world, like Rumi and like Khalil Gibran, and a lot of David White's work, that it sounds like it's about one thing, but
Yeah.
inside that is another message,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and inside that is
Yes.
a slight little secret that was hidden,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
thing points to another thing, and it's all
Yeah.
woven together in a map of meaning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's you know, much of this, I don't think I'm just the author of cute things.
Hmm.
I think I'm a channel
Hmm.
channeling a certain kind of wisdom and sensibility and insight, medicine for the human soul, medicine for these kind of difficult journeys.
Hmm.
And because we're not initiated, again, we're not taught that there is hidden wisdom inside of things, and
Hmm.
that sometimes that wisdom is there by accident or there by design. And then again, every now and again, you get someone like me who secretly my work is to encode such stuff in my work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can read it and go, oh, that's lovely, and put it down. And if you don't feel like the oh my God moment, I promise
Hmm.
you there's something waiting for you there,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
just about spruiking my work, it's to say, you can't really get the value. Like if somebody says to you, oh, you're going through this, and they just say the caterpillar and the butterfly, just those two words, you go, yeah, I know what
Hmm.
a caterpillar is, I know what a butterfly is, fuck off, man, I've
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
But suddenly, what that actually is a gift to say, where are you in this relationship, in this journey, in this transition? It's an
Hmm.
invitation to orientation. It's an
Hmm.
invitation to apply that metaphor. It's an invitation to explore that metaphor and see what happens actually in the journey of a caterpillar and a butterfly, so that in all of those little bits of detail, there is some
Hmm.
gift from the universe telling us that there's a map to follow of understanding, that you can be inside that experience, but also view it from a
Hmm.
transcendent perspective above, so that you can make room for that thing
Yeah.
without panicking or drama. And
Hmm.
the world is full of such things, and I have delighted as a craft.
Hmm.
I've delighted in my craft of extracting such things from the world. That's what poets do.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
distilling it into a thing that sounds like a normal piece of writing or verse, but inside of there is hidden this map to follow.
Hmm.
Like the Hearth and the Well, that's another map. It's an
Yeah.
initiatory arc.
Yeah.
This is an initiatory arc. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tarot is an initiatory arc.
The music that you have initiated me towards, Rocco, is an initiatory arc.
It's a
And
technology that you can use for
yeah.
that as well. Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, Rocco, before we go offline here, I want you to talk about that music bit just a little bit because that is another project within a better way which we want to be launching sometime soon, where at least we want to be initiating people towards the power of that technology.
Mm.
Can you spend a minute or two talking about
I
it?
can.
Just
We're at the
introducing.
20-minute mark already, but I'll talk about it briefly.
Yeah.
So there's two things that human beings have invented
Hmm.
uh, by our understanding of nature and the world and
Hmm.
sciences and things like that.
Hmm.
And it's called medicine and technology.
Hmm.
So if you think of breathwork can be a medicine and a technology. It can help you in a moment, but it can also become this way in which you guide your consciousness, practice embodied consciousness, as can meditation is a technology, yoga is a
Hmm.
technology, jiu-jitsu is a
Hmm.
technology, language is a technology. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
language can also be a medicine if you put it together in poetry. Yeah. And
Hmm.
so what I'm saying is music is medicine, and there
Hmm.
is a technology that we can teach
Hmm.
where you use the the music as a carrier signal
Hmm.
to explore questions, look for answers, do reflections, look at some truth in the world, because these musicians are writing pieces, much like I was talking about those poems that I write, which
Hmm.
carry a kind of signature. And
Hmm.
if you are using it as a devotional practice, you're not devoting it to something else outside of you. You're devotionally focusing on that question or that desire inside of you to answer a question, or that
Hmm.
prayer that you have to change something or understand something in the world, or to grow or to be different. And I've been using music for years and collecting them and arranging them in different playlists and even curating the playlist. So if you play from the beginning to the end, there's a shape of that conscious and subconscious experience happening that you can listen to and enjoy and appreciate. You
Hmm.
can meditate on
Hmm.
and look for this resonance and this metaphor and this story that's being
Hmm.
told, or
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
explanation of a feeling or an understanding or something. And or you can actually be guided by myself, and now I'm teaching you, Chetan, how to use these things to
Hmm.
solve particular conundrums, to
Yeah.
address particular lacks of understanding,
Hmm.
to make particular changes inside of ourselves,
Hmm. Hmm.
um,
Hmm. Hmm.
or to acceptances or facings or things like this. And so this can actually be used like very sophisticated technology. And it
Hmm.
sounds, I mean, you'll either get it or you won't, you know. But the point is, it's no good me talking about it. What you have to talk about to people is to say, music, music. I was listening to music Rocco sent me and I liked it. Then suddenly I had the feeling in the moment, and then he reminded me of that song and he told me what was it was about, and then
Hmm.
it quadrupled in context and meaning for me. And
Yeah.
then I got proper speakers. And
Hmm.
then I put time aside to use it deliberately for this. And
Yeah.
then the value of this just kept stepping up.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was just a song.
Yeah.
And now,
That's it,
how
really.
much part of your toolkit is this now?
I I do not meditate without music anymore. I, I, I just cannot. I don't feel like I'm doing justice to
You
the
will
time that
one
I'm
day, but for
devoting to my
now, this is the
practice.
season of using that carrier signal, of
Yes, yes,
leveling up in this technology. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Correct. Yeah. Uh, Hmm. So what we should do as a service, Rocco, is put down your Spotify playlist, your
There
Spotify
are
profile
some in a
rather.
better way already in the Substack.
Yes, in the A Better Way Substack, there is a dedicated section where Rocco has already provided a bunch of playlists that you
It's
can
called
start to just.
it's
Um,
called Epic.
hmm, hmm. So we'll share that link in the maybe in the pinned comment down below, wherein you can go through and just check out those playlists and play it for yourself and go into it with an open mind and an open heart and see yourself change for yourself.
And what I've done inside each of those playlists is I've mentioned what their little function or their purpose is. And
Hmm.
then what
Hmm.
you can also do is you can write into us to say, I'm struggling with this, I'm stuck with this. Can you pair
Yeah.
a thing with that? And it won't always be a music playlist, but a music playlist sometimes can accompany that.
Yeah.
So there'll be breathwork practices, there'll be meditations, there'll be concepts that you need to understand. And
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
do all of those things together with the music,
Hmm.
that's when the technology can kick in, because what you're doing is you're upgrading your consciousness
Yeah. Yeah. That's it, really. That's
in
it.
a visceral, somatic, energetic, experiential way. So it's left brain, right brain together, you
Hmm.
know.
And I would personally highly recommend that you get a proper speaker for yourself, a proper pair of headphones for yourself, because I have been through the experience of listening to that music from my laptop speakers, from the shittier headphones that I had, and then from proper headphones and from proper speakers. And man, oh
Incomparable
man,
experience.
exactly, dude, exactly. I don't want to use the example that you used, Rocco, when you were explaining it to me. It'll be a bit, it'll be a bit too explicit for this,
Well,
but
I'll say it then because I don't care. It's like having sex with two condoms on. You think it's a
that's it.
great experience, but suddenly the full, real, authentic experience is incomparable, you know.
That's it. That's it.
But let me just be clear here. No one's going to fully understand what we're saying here because we're not giving it the proper runway and credence.
True that. True that.
So it's a bit
Mm,
messy and a bit rushed, and
yeah.
everyone's going to go, "You were talking about this, then it was books, then it was this, then it was that." The main message here was we're going through harvest season. It means that a winter is coming.
Mm,
And
mm,
what you're
mm,
supposed to be doing is you're supposed to be getting as much of your soul across the line as you can. You're supposed to inherit all of your wisdoms from this past season. You're supposed to be doing these retros, asking yourself, if I had my time again. You're supposed to be forgiving yourself, forgiving others, making your peace, um, honoring your griefs,
mm,
reflecting on the successes that you had, how much you've changed, and then you have to look forward at the season that's coming, and decide what it is that you want to let go of and what you want to carry with you, how you want to step through this
mm,
moment. What
mm,
what
mm,
do you want this next arc of your life to be? And then you need to let the fire go down. You need to go have a sleep. You need to just become small, rest, go on holiday, practice recreation,
mm.
recreation. You know,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
listen to music to grow yourself. Listen to music just to unwind, um,
Mm,
celebrate, rest, recover, regenerate, and realize that these moments are going to come again.
mm,
And how, if you had your time again, there's even a way that you would have stepped through this with more grace and with more composure. And maybe you can do that next time, you know, but how you face this moment and how you let go what was not, because everyone's stressing out because we didn't get everything done or we're not 100% ready. So
mm, mm,
I'm not 100% ready just becomes my backlog intentionality that I know I'm going to be working on.
mm,
And the things that I didn't get done become my griefs, and some of them become how I'd like to do things differently next time. So the point is, everything becomes an opportunity for you to learn and grow and understand yourself more and prepare yourself better for the next leg of your journey.
mm, mm, mm.
And also to realize that there's loved ones around you that are also going through a struggle time of arrival. And if you can have this context, you can suddenly hold space for
Hold
them
space for
and
them. Yeah.
initiate them into the same context of understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose that's the main message. And there's many
That's it.
ways and medicines and technologies and tools we can use for such things. And what a better way wants to do is eventually we want to have communities and containers where we're helping everybody step through these things in a more skillful way. Like we start learning the jujitsu of that
Yeah. The sacred
sensibility.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Hmm. I think we've covered everything that we wanted to,
Yeah,
Rocco.
yeah, yeah.
I'll add one thing, Rocco. I'll add one thing. I'm speaking to the community now. There are a bunch of projects coming up on a Better Way platform. They will range from books to classes to gyms to sessions to full on courses and smaller courses and a bunch of other. Really, there's a bunch of projects coming through. What we want from our community right now is we have launched a community outreach program wherein we want our community members to help us with these projects directly. And the applications for that can look like something as simple as an internship application. So if you feel like you can help us out with a better way projects in whatever scope where you can, it could be some where we're looking for help right now is really to help us reach out with more content on all of our platforms. So there's Substack, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's YouTube. There are short videos we want to be putting out everywhere. We want to get this message across, these messages across on all of these platforms.
Yeah.
And
So
just the two of us, we cannot really do all of it.
no,
So that's
no.
directly where we need help. We have already sent out this outreach program for our community. I will add a link to the form in the pinned comment. So make sure that if you feel called out to help, just fill up that form and we will assign you to one area or multiple avenues of the work that we need help with.
Or
And
hear
this
what
is,
your suggestions are.
yes, really, really, that is one of
And
the
you know, so
points there.
if you're somebody who has their own kind of intuition to speak and make videos and share posts and things, the invitation is to understand the message and the cause that we are
Mm,
joined in, and the insights, the lessons, the concepts, the learnings, the teachings that are on offer. And it's not small, it's non-trivial, which means you don't have to go hunt in the world for a million things. You can come and find something that's aligned to this intentionality, and you can use that as a resource, and you can make your shorts and videos and reels and posts about that. Or you can help us put this out,
yeah, yeah,
or you can contribute in some other meaningful way, or you can put your hand up to join our first soft launch circles of community practice,
yeah,
or you can put your hand up to say, I want some container mentorship. I actually want to get into I want to begin my own formal education of all of this wisdom and philosophy and concepts, which spans Eastern wisdom, Western esoteric traditions, behavioral psychology, body knowledge of neurochemistry, it's hermetics, it's this wisdom of how to distill mythos and tarot and Kabbalah and Gnosticism and Advaita Vedanta, and to distill all of this into one coherent thing that helps you live all three project fronts of your life: your self and personal development, your
yeah,
relationships and your containers and your home, and then your work and your job and your calling and your profession in this world. And then how to do all of this that you care about anyway, with more discernment, more skill, more tools, more coherence, and a pathway towards leveling up across all of these three, and then all together, you know. So
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
invitation.
That's it, really. Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah. Yes, there's going to be a bunch in the comments section down below. Make sure if you are listening to this right now, make sure you tune in there. For those of you who have already filled out the application, it is safe with us. We are going through this change right now. We are planning and we are trying to come up with various avenues where we want to talk about and put out content from a better way and all of these projects. So we will reach out to you in the coming weeks and months and we will get started on this, right?
Well, we have already. It's just not all of it's visible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're working
Mm,
all the time,
mm,
you know, constantly
yes.
all week, ideating, refining, iterating things,
Yeah.
laying foundations down, putting containers together so that this thing can all start taking off. But if you've got a sense of urgency or impatience or eagerness or calling, the best way that you can help is not just like idly flipping past and waiting and wondering why we're not doing anything fast enough. When somebody cares about something important in the world and it's not happening in a way that meets your expectations, that is actually always an invitation for you to go, oh, how can I help? You know, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know, something we're trying to teach our daughter. She'll go, I'm hungry, dinner's not coming fast enough. Do you want to do a job that that can help make it happen faster?
Mm.
Because man, we can do with all the help we can get, you know. And
That's it, really.
yeah,
What you
that's it.
seek is seeking you. What you
Yes,
seek to see out in the world is actually seeking you to help out and help
yes.
achieve it, right?
What you long for the most in the world is not a punishment that you can't find it. It's an invitation for you to help create it.
That's it. That's it.
Mm.
All right, Rocco. thank you. Thank you for this live session. Thank you for everyone who tuned in live. Thank you for everyone who will watch this later. And if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. Check out A Better Way on all of these platforms. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Substack, we are on Instagram, and we're going to be everywhere else where you want us to be. So let us know if you don't find our presence anywhere where it matters, right?
Yeah,
Check out
yeah.
the community outreach forms. Check out the playlists that Rocco has already shared. Check out the speakers that I have bought for myself, and I'll be sharing the links to them below down also, right? All right.
Um,
Anything
yeah,
else
I
you want to
think
add,
what you should
Rocco?
really put together now and let them know what's coming next is we're going to create a newsletter
Yeah.
entry
Yeah.
and give everybody just a sensible update about where the project is, where we're at, how you all these necessary links and coherence is going to be in those
Yeah.
newsletters in the A Better Way Now Substack. So
Yes. Yes.
um,
The easiest
if
way to
you've
get
signed
access
up
to
and
that Substack.
registered, you'll be updated. It's coming.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
coming.
The easiest way to get access to that newsletter is actually via the Substack. It lands directly in your mailbox as a newsletter, and that's the way we want to connect to, agnostic of all platforms. You will always have your email, even if you do not have your YouTube or your Substack. So make sure you subscribe to that Substack, and then from there on, it's all in your inbox anyway,
Mm.
right? All right.
Okay.
Thank
Soft
you.
launch season.
Yes. Okay. I think that's it, right? Until next time, peace out, guys.